So I'll be honest with you guys, I really didn't expect this to blow up. Now, needless to say, it didn't blow up, but I expected less for my second video, especially for the first of a series that really hasn't been completely thought through. But I'll thank you so much. So before we start getting into the episode, I just did want to start off and say thank you so much for everybody. I've had some good reviews actually, and if there's any kind of changes you guys want me to do or some type of setup that you guys prefer from me, just let me know. And I'm more than happy to change. Like I said, I don't expect much from this, but I'd like to build a group and just let me know what I can do. I'm gonna try to keep a consistent upload schedule, especially knowing that that video kind of did better. My apologies for the late delays. I've had a couple things going on this weekend and this week so far. I actually just went into the doctor and had some blood work done, but that's not part of this episode. What is part of this episode is what we're doing again? Oh yeah, we're doing the Loch Ness Monster. So a lot of the episodes that I like laughing at mostly are from season 1. Now granted, I know there's a lot more seasons out there, but I just want to get started on my favorite. Now this one being the Loch Ness Monster. Now I just wanted to make a point across. If anybody has been sailing before, you know how it is out in the ocean. It's rocky. On smaller boats it's not pleasant. Lots of storms, you get the idea. But one thing that a lot of people can agree on is Wi-Fi is very scarce throughout the ocean. Nowadays, it's pretty common. I was just on a cruise ship with my wife a little bit ago, and they had Wi-Fi. It wasn't good, but it's better than nothing. I just wanted to bring that up before I get this episode started because it's going to be important later on. Now the episode. We're going to see this a lot. You're going to eventually memorize this just like I did. It's just a disclaimer. This might exist, this might not exist, we don't know, but science doesn't want to accept this even though we don't have evidence, but we're going to play this off as evidence because, yeah. The start of this episode just basically lets you know that this is a story, a recreation of what could possibly be happening out there in the world. This already alone kind of infuriates me because you're trying to let me know that this thing exists. Now I understand you have to tell me this is a story, but if you want me to believe this thing exists, then don't put this. But that aside, let's just get going. The episode goes further on, letting us know some facts about ocean life and how it is sailing and whatnot. Now, I understand we're trying to get educated by this show, but too much information dismays the idea of the Loch Ness Monster. You're not even bringing it up yet, but like I said, let's just keep going. So next up, it kind of lets you know about the story we're going to be following. It's about a woman named Sharon Novak, and needless to say, she's just on a boat, and she's sailing. We find out later on in the episode that she's actually doing an event right now to sail across the whole entire world, and so far everything's been going good. She's been going through some storms and whatnot, but it's nothing she can't handle. The episode's trying to get the point across that she is a veteran in this, and I just want to let you guys know, remember this fact, because it's going to come up in a bit. Now, the fact that we talked about in the very beginning of the episode about internet, this is where I don't believe it. It lets us know a time frame. She was doing this around 2007. If anybody remembers internet in 2007, it was pretty spotty. Now, Wi-Fi has definitely improved throughout the years, but at this time, it's very hard to believe some points. One, how is this quality that good? It literally does feel like it's high-tech camera. Now, maybe she got money off of some companies to be able to do this event, maybe some type of company gave her money to buy these cameras or whatnot, whatever. But one, if you are doing an event like this, it's very seldom where a company won't make you promote their products. Now, I don't see any promotions throughout this whole episode, but whatever. The second point being, where did you find such good internet? Now, it's not telling us whether or not she did live stream the whole sailing trip, but it kind of implies it. And going back to the point I made across in the very beginning, where did you get this good internet? Nowadays, I can barely FaceTime my wife, and I get maybe 140p quality, and that's spotty in most places. Sometimes it's better, but where did you get this good quality? Everybody knows that when you're live streaming, it does take both two things, internet and RAM. If you don't have one of both decently as strong as the other, then you're going to lag a little bit. You're going to lag, or you're going to have some quality issues. She, throughout the whole episode, has no issues at all. How can you make me believe the fact that she actually is sailing throughout the whole ocean, later on even talking on the phone over a webcam with what we can only believe is like a boyfriend or maybe a brother or some whatnot? How can we believe that? Honestly, on a cruise where my wife and I both bought the premium package of internet, I could barely hold YouTube for a minute at a time. And that's lucky. Now, this point kind of infuriates me because I don't believe that in 2007 you were able to find good internet throughout the entire world. It's not believable. But going on to the episode, I did just want to say the actor that you guys chose kind of seems like she's speaking for the first time in front of a camera. Now, find someone who's at least a decent veteran, or don't tell the story. Because everybody knows where they can find the worst acting, being porn. And when I believe porn more than you, that's when you fail as a video. Then again, if I can say one thing, Lost Tapes, definitely less quality than porn. So I can successfully say one thing. If you want better acting, go to Pornhub. Find yourself a better video. And I guarantee you, in the 2 minutes of acting that they have throughout a video, it'll be much better than 30 minutes of this.
I'm so glad it's all worth it.
It's death.
Alright, I better get going.
Couple more hours.
So the video cuts out to some guy talking about the dangers of the ocean, blah, blah, blah. Goes straight back to her. This is where she starts talking to her boyfriend, I think it is. And needless to say, I think their relationship is so bad. Now, I thought 50 Shades of Grey had bad chemistry between the two main protagonists, but this is just terrible. It honestly seems like you paid them off the street to just talk to one another. There's no chemistry. Their laughter is obviously fake between another. And second, who talks like that?
Your fan base and your paparazzi are going to wait outside.
Fan base?
I cannot wait till you get back here. You see how many people are just taken to
Seriously?
amazing.
More facts about the ocean. A lot of ships have been claimed. It's nothing you're going to find different in an episode. Then I'll be honest with you. If you've been doing this for a while and you've been sailing across the world, the way you're talking feels like I would talk if I'm stuck in the middle of a room for the first time ever.
Alright, come on, Win, let's go. Pick up, pick up, pick up, pick up.
Who is that descriptive about the little things at a point? Maybe in the very beginning, but after a while you're just kind of sleeping a majority of the time. And maybe once in a while when you get an alert or something new comes up, then you kind of pick up on those details. But she's there just talking about the wind and how it's slow, playing with the steering wheel. It's not believable. She gets a mayday call later on the episode, and honestly, it seems fake. The whole situation behind a mayday call and the things that happen throughout a mayday call, it's pretty remarkable. Now, if anybody has had boat experience at all, I've had barely any. But even a mayday call barely goes unanswered. You eventually have a lot of boats coming back to you, and I'll be honest with you, even the Coast Guard will eventually pick up on this mayday call. Now, I'm in the States, and honestly, it's not really hard to believe that a mayday call, no matter where you're at, will be answered. Like, even in 2007, you hear a lot of stories about people submitting mayday calls, and they go pretty quickly answered. So to believe that just this girl in the middle of an ocean who has better internet than almost anybody in the planet was able to at some point get a mayday call that only she got, and not even the United States or whatever government, I don't believe that. Like, if she's the only person that got this call, I would love to have her equipment, even in 2019. I'd love to get better signal on my Wi-Fi, honestly. Okay, I promise you that I'll stop talking about the internet. Then after the mayday call, she kind of looks around. She goes back to talking to her boyfriend or whatever, and then she comes to the conclusion that I need to go find them. Boyfriend is smart. Says don't. Contact someone else. Let them know about this. You're not equipped for this. You don't have any kind of help that you could offer. Now, I'm not saying don't help. If you want to help, help. But at least let someone know other than the boyfriend who probably won't do anything, honestly. She then eventually hits something and the boat kind of does a weird doohickey. And she comes to the further conclusion that I need to get out of the boat and I need to go figure out what just happened. That's how every horror situation starts. So then she gets out of the boat. She finds an object that I can only describe as Kabuto from Pokemon. Now, if you want further proof that this was actually taken in 2007, it looks like they actually got a camera from 2007. Look at this thing. It's something that you would call low quality equipment. Remember those old cameras that you would have to open up and actually have to flip on to work? This is what she has. Now, I was alive during these times. I had one of these cameras a long time ago. And they were terrible. They had a horrible battery. They worked on AA. They were never waterproof. They had the worst quality. And I don't buy the fact that she would have one of these if she has this good internet. Okay, I'll stop with the internet this time for sure. Then she does a whole lap around the boat and then she finds something that I can only describe as some jam or something, whatever. Obviously, we're supposed to believe it's blood. Then she says there's blood all over the place, which is kind of hilarious. It's only on one part of the boat. It lets us know about this prehistoric monster that could possibly still be alive, which if it is, that's fine. But give me proof. Then her boat shuts out again, and she has to go to the conclusion that she needs to go off the boat again. But why? If you see a boat full of blood, something happened. Why are you going to get out of your only source of safety? Stay in the boat. Then she has the worst panic attack talking to her man. I have yet to find someone in real life who holds their head like this. And then who anymore. So then she gets out of the boat. Why? And then somehow miraculously her boat kicks back on. So then she's there just stranded, boat going away, like what she deserves. Then this guy is talking to the webcam like he really thinks that she'll be able to hear her from that far. Like when I'm in the other room, I can barely hear my wife talking to me. You think that she's gonna be able to hear you from outside the boat? So then we get what we've been waiting for. The shadow. The shadow of proof. The shadow that tells all. The shadow that doesn't say anything. The whole time her boyfriend's telling her to get back in the boat, and I'm glad the boat finally goes, because honestly, I would have done the same thing this far into the episode. Then the video ends. It kind of gives us a little disclaimer about how we can't find the camera. We weren't able to find what happened after this, after she was in the water. And I kind of find it hard to believe. Like, you have the video of her being in the water when the boat's leaving. What happened to the rest of the footage? So only the part that matters was cut. Not the first time though she was in the water, right? And how did they get the camera? Did the Loch Ness Monster like shit it out or something? Did the whole time the Loch Ness Monster try to eat everything but the camera? No, animals aren't that smart. Like some are. Like my dog can probably do twice the amount of things that I can. But when my dog wants to play, he doesn't avoid my white shirt. He touches it first. So I don't believe that you recovered the camera, but only a part of it was recovered. Only the part that didn't matter, really. So it finally ends with another disclaimer. The story was inspired. You didn't inspire me to do anything. You inspired me to stay out of the water, or maybe thinking a shark would pop up. I believe this was a shark more than it was a Loch Ness Monster. Now, if that was your mission, what are you doing here? Go to Shark Week. Don't put this on here where I think it might be something else. So that was it. Now, back then, I believed that this was real. As did a lot of people. I don't blame them. I think anything that really involves the ocean or water, we kind of tend to be scared of. One, because we can't see anything below our feet, and that's if it's good water. And two, because almost anything down there kind of wants to kill us. It's survival of the fittest, and honestly, with this story and the girl, I believe natural selection took its place. Now, if you're gonna get out of your boat with a bloody boat next to you, you kind of deserve what was coming. Now, I'm obviously not saying that I wanted this to happen to her, but natural selection takes its place. But I believe that if the monster's in the house and you decide to run into your bedroom instead of jump out the window, then you had it coming. But I'll stop there. So like I said in the other episode, it's just hard to believe that these creatures would actually exist. Now, I admire the fact that you're trying to explore my imagination and, you know, poke little parts of my brain that I never knew existed. But at least do it with me actually being able to see maybe a decent CGI editing of the Loch Ness Monster, maybe sticking his head out of the water. But I guess it's too much to ask, you know? Anyways, that's where I'm going to stop this episode. Now, thank you to all those people who actually checked my first episode out. I didn't believe that it would actually get some type of traction or that people would actually like it, because I'm horrible at editing, and I was worried that for a moment, maybe I did clip something in there that didn't belong. Now, and I know I promised on Monday that I would be able to get some recordings done, but I kind of don't have that good of a computer, and needless to say, I'm kind of working with what I got. I just love YouTube as a whole, and I do want to get started on this now. I have some stuff lined up for this week, but I do want to try to get something solid out there, because this was actually kind of fun. I might do live streaming. I've been thinking about making a Twitch, but it hasn't really gone through. Like I said, I'm kind of limited on my computer. I mean, if someone wants to donate a computer, go for it. But I do want to continue this series on. One, because I love this show, and it was honestly a big part of my childhood. And two, I like debunking unscary stuff. Now, without further ado, I do just want to say thank you to everybody who was checking out my channel and all these videos. I'm going to try to do some more engagement. If you guys have anything for me to review, or you guys want to do a specific monster, just comment down, and I probably will squeeze it in somewhere. I mean, I have no other content to make at this point. Maybe I might do some video games later on, or like I said, my wife wants to do vlogging, maybe, eventually. But I'm not there yet. I want to get this series done first before I start branching off into something major. Maybe video games, though. I do like video games a lot. So, like what everybody always says in every single video, go and hit that like button, that subscribe button. Thank you to my 5 people who are currently subscribed to me. And thank Thank you for everybody who's checking out my videos. I think I hit like 30 some odd views, and honestly, that's big for me. I didn't expect anything. So thank you. So with all that said, thank you so much for checking out this video. I hope to see you guys soon, and I'll see you guys in the next episode.